Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you. Welcome to the first full 100 of the week. It's Wednesday today, the 2nd of September. I believe the last time I spoke to you guys was Thursday of last week. It's been hectic with the Million People March. Didn't have the time to do it the Friday. There was a lot to do. There's a lot to do the Saturday as well. Still recovering from all the work over the past 7 weeks or so. On update on the Million People March, we were really pleased with the turnout, pleased with the event. Had great press about it. I mean, we made press in China, for example, and over an hour long coverage that the Chinese press gave us. There's still media attention coming out of it till now as we speak. So it's been hectic. Even the aftermath has been hectic, guys. Really had a great day. A few agitators did try to upset the day, but you know what? We batted it off, and it was a historic day. Of course, we didn't get the million people. Of course, we knew we weren't going to get a million people, but we made history, and that's what counts. It's the first Million People March in UK history. So guess what? MPM is in the history books from that, and we can only move on from that. Fantastic day out. Believe we got about between 1,200 and 1,500 people all told. So yeah, we're really pleased with it. But we've got to get back to the real world. We've got to get back to politics, and we've got to get back to what's going on around the world. So I'm going to start now with the Jacob Blake case, which is taking a very dark turn in the United States, as I predicted it would. As you know, a 17-year-old, the last time I spoke to you guys, a 17-year-old went out there with his AR-15 and killed two protesters. So guys, without further ado, let's get to today's topic. I want to start with just that, the 17-year-old who went out with his AR-15. The police found him, gave him water. He walked towards the police with a massive AR-15 hanging across his chest and his side, and the police just waved him on, and he was fine. He was later arrested. I have to add, he was later arrested, and he was arrested. However, he was given the pleasure of walking himself over to the police station. Now, since then, as you would expect, the country's divided, as they do. So you got the right-wing crazies and the TV channel, Fox, and the radio stations, and Rush Limbaugh, and all of these people supporting this guy, saying his life was in danger. This is someone who came from, he wasn't even from that state. He wasn't from that state. He wasn't from Wisconsin. He came from Chicago. A 17-year-old. He should have been at home with mommy and daddy. He strapped on an AR-15 and traveled across state lines because he wanted to go protect another state. And what's worse, and what this lets you know why the police are racist. This is a trainee police officer at 17. So he was in the youth corps of the police. So he was going to be a police officer once he turned 18, maybe 21. Who knows when they turn them into police officers. So let me give you a first take of what's happened since then, okay? Now, I mean, to these people, black lives don't matter at all. These guys are happy to wipe out black people. How can you defend? Can you imagine if a rioter, black rioter from another state, went over to join the fight and ends up killing somebody? Take a look at this first video, guys.
As Trump comes to the defense of an accused killer who also happens to be a supporter. Speaking just moments ago, the president almost justifying what Kyle Rittenhouse allegedly did last Tuesday night, armed on the streets of Kenosha, Wisconsin with a long rifle, where police say he killed two protesters and injured a third.
Are you going to condemn the actions of vigilantes like Kyle Rittenhouse?
Well, we're looking at all of it. That was an interesting situation. You saw the same tape as I saw, and he was trying to get away from them, I guess, it looks like. and he fell, and then they very violently attacked him. And it was something that we're looking at right now, and it's under investigation. But I guess he was in very big trouble. He would have been. He probably would have been killed. But it's under investigation.
All right, so let's look at what the criminal complaint said. It said Rittenhouse was not on the ground when he first opened fire. Instead, he was clashing with people who had gathered near a car dealership. And the president also refused to condemn supporters who took to the streets in Portland, seen firing paintball guns and mace this weekend.
I understand they had large numbers of people that were supporters, but that was a peaceful protest. And paint is a defensive mechanism. Paint is not bullets.
So this is what the president is calling a peaceful protest. Supporters of the president firing a paintball gun on protesters, as you see. The president unable to say this is wrong today during his press conference, that apparent far-right protesters are fanning the flames of violence.
The wave of violence and destruction that we've seen in recent weeks and months has occurred in cities exclusively controlled and dominated by the Joe Biden party.
Welcome back, guys. All these people want, if let's be honest, is a race war. We know it from here in the UK, and we see it every day in America. That's all they're waiting for. And you know what? At the moment, they have a president who wants exactly the same. And that's the danger that the world is in. Because a race war starts in America, it won't take long before it takes off over here as well. And these guys are prepared to do everything within their power to make that happen. Now, what's happening now is, as they do, they bring out the token blacks. Yeah, you're gonna get the racist blacks who come out and they're vilifying the rioters. They don't care if they don't care about George Floyd. They don't care about Jacob Blake, Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery. They don't care about any of those people, because all they see is their own agenda, evangelical agenda. A lot of these blacks you're gonna see come out to speak against the rioters are evangelical blacks, the same people who are bought up and sold up by Trump, as long as they get their agenda through and they have a seat at the table with Trump. So guys, take a look at this video and understand the poison that the president of the United States breeds just by being in that seat, being in that office. And the most disgusting thing is, this guy claims to solve their problem when this stuff is happening under his watch. He's not running to replace somebody. He's not running for office to replace the guy who's in power now. That the guy who's in power now is not doing anything to help it. He's the one in power. He's the one stoking it. And the reason he stokes it is because it is his only chance of scaring a part of the population. But you know what? The rest of the population can see that all he's doing is stoking it. Take a look at my next video, guys.
To pedal to a host who endlessly airs video from June of fires in Minneapolis or police standoffs in Seattle from July and tries to pass them off as if they happened in late August. If you watch her show, you would think Portland has been burning for years, but it hasn't been burning for years, let alone decades, as the president claims. Now listen to this, as Trump also spins lies about his record on crime.
Since the beginning of Operation Legend, we have conducted more than 1,000 arrests and reduced the murder rate in Kansas City, which is one of the cities we targeted, by 1/3. Got it down 33%.
That's completely made up. Murders have not declined 33% there, according to data obtained by the Kansas City Star. The city has recorded 135 homicides this year, putting it on track to be the deadliest year on record. There have been 32 homicides since the operation was announced in July. But as the president paints this picture of an out-of-control America, he acts like he's not already the president of it.
I'll appoint more tough-on-crime prosecutors, support stiffer penalties and longer jail terms for rioters, and support effective policing methods that are proven to be great crime reducers. When you enforce the law, order follows, and we need order. We need order. While I am president, we will defend the rights of law-abiding citizens. We will honor the heroes who keep America safe.
He is the president right now, and he has been for almost 3 years. The crime that he's deriding is happening on his watch. He's stoking it and using it successfully in many cases to make Americans afraid.
The violence.
When the rioters come for your town, and they're coming, will Biden and his team do enough to stop them?
These are thugs out there attacking law-abiding citizens.
Since these people are now crossing state lines clearly, and this is being organized using the internet,
they will burn down your cities and tell you that you did it. And if you don't accept that judgment, maybe they'll send BLM to your house.
That is a host saying that you should be afraid because black people might be coming to your house to commit violence. It's blatant racism. It's meant to scare moderate Americans into voting for President Trump. Instead of condemning violence, President Trump is endorsing it. Here is what he said about Portland, where a right-wing protester was shot and killed this weekend. He was part of a caravan of Trump supporters driving through the downtown protests, some of those supporters shooting paintballs and, according to a witness I interviewed, marbles from paintball guns.
You were just criticizing Joe Biden, saying he didn't mention the far left or Antifa. During his speech today, you said you wanted to talk about left-wing political violence. Yeah. But I noticed you did not mention that your supporters were also in Portland this weekend, firing paintball guns at people, some form of pepper spray. So do you want to also take this chance to condemn what your supporters did?
Well, I understand they had large numbers of people that were supporters, but that was a peaceful protest. And paint is not, and paint is a defensive mechanism.
You know, I mean, guys, welcome back. I mean, what is there to say? After seeing what this guy is doing in stoking fires, what black person, if you're not an evangelical and if you haven't got an agenda, if you're just a simple, ordinary black fella, black person, anywhere in the world, how can you see this and not see what's happening? It's truly beyond me. But you know what? It really made my day, in a way. I hate to see people die. I hate to see anyone killed, okay? But it really made my day to see that at least one Trump supporter who took his gun out there to shoot at rioters, whether it's paintball gun or marbles that they were firing out of it, okay? The guy got killed. So now we have a situation that the fallout from Jacob Blake's shooting 7 times in the back, lucky and thank God he survived. The fallout from that, because the vigilantes have got involved, more deaths have happened. Those deaths have not happened because people are protesting. Those deaths have happened because the right-wing media have stoked the flame so high that these people come out in their guns. The first deaths were on the side of the protesters. Now we have a death at the weekend that's on the side of them, on their side. So now you have 3 people dead and another one injured since Jacob Blake. Why? Because of the president in place. Nothing more, nothing less. But you know what? I love the next clip I'm going to show you guys now. It's a journalist that asked him a question. And his face has made my day. Take a look at this video.
Coronavirus briefing yesterday got a whole lot of attention.
Mr. President, after 3.5 years, do you regret at all the lying you've done to the American people? On
all the what?
All the lying, all the dishonesties.
That who has done?
You have done. Tens of thousands.
Yeah, go ahead, please. Please. Go ahead.
Joining me now is the reporter who put the president on the spot there. S.V. Date is with us. He's the senior White House correspondent with the Huffington Post.
It was class. That really made my day. And that journalist deserves a medal for that priceless question. Guys, I want to wrap up that side of things now. Obviously, I haven't spoken to you guys for quite a while, since last week Thursday, and I do believe it was quite a few days before that I brought you guys anything on the COVID situation, probably earlier in the week. So guys, here's a quick look at the world situation with COVID. The UK is in trouble with that, just like all the rest of the world is. It's just, this thing is just, it looks like it's just here to stay, guys. So guys, take a quick look at my last video and the roundup of the COVID situation around the world. Take a look.
Lives lost to the coronavirus worldwide topped 800,000 Saturday. 23 million people have been infected. In some parts of the world, cases are holding steady or even dropping, but some countries are seeing surges. Italy, for instance, topped 1,000 new cases on Saturday for the first time since May. More than 1,200 new cases were reported in the UK, and a government advisor warns of possible draconian measures. Brazil, second only to the US, reported 50,000 new infections with nearly 900 deaths. And as we can see, the virus is impacting countries around the globe. A festival in India to honor a Hindu god. But with more than 3 million confirmed cases of the coronavirus in the country, it's a more somber occasion than usual. Prayers also in Baghdad, where Shiite pilgrims are gathering for the beginning of a holy month, despite calls from clerics to stay at home as COVID-19 spreads across the country, the number of cases here rising above 200,000. This virus has no regard for religion or the people who practice it. The global death toll now more than 800,000. In Bolivia, where infections have topped over 100,000, healthcare workers go door to door in the poorer areas of La Paz to test residents and hand out medical kits. I have shortness of breath, one woman says. I have seen the doctor and she has tested me. One more month and I think I will be okay, but a lot of people have died in the neighborhood. Peru will soon begin phase 3 clinical trials of a vaccine developed by a Chinese company and is in talks to buy millions of doses of a potential vaccine. Its case count is the 6th highest in the world. Lebanon is under a partial lockdown for 2 weeks after its infections doubled since an explosion rocked the city more than 2 weeks ago. Everyone has been mixing, one man says. Corona has certainly increased. We have to take care of ourselves and fix our homes. A helping hand that much of the world affected by an unmerciful disease could use right now.
We've come to the end of today's show. I really just want to say a few things. I want to say a big thank you to each and every foot, each and every pair of shoes, each and every pair of trainers, boots on the ground on the 30th at the Million People March. I want to thank each and every speaker who came out to speak. I want to thank the press who came out to cover it. But guys, it was a fabulous day, and I want to say a big thank you to my co-organizers. You all know who they are, and everybody who played a part in organizing it, all of the different groups who turned up. I want to say a big thank you to all of you from the bottom of our hearts. Listen out for our next move. We're going to be putting our statement out pretty shortly, probably by tomorrow, so pay attention to that, look out for that, and I'm going to finish with some beautiful photos of the day. So guys, until tomorrow, have a fantastic evening and have a fantastic day, and I'll see you all soon. Bye bye now.